On page 77, we find a juxtaposition. Remember, juxtaposition is when two contrasting things are compared. The man who's not Father Ludwig is also looking down at me. Barney is not Father Ludwig. He's completely different to Father Ludwig. All we really know about Father Ludwig is that he has great respect for Adolf Hitler. Barney, however, he's not a priest, he's a Jew because he's wearing a Jewish armband, and he doesn't admire Adolf Hitler. Barney is a good man. Father Ludwig, he's not such a good man. We also have examples of dramatic irony. Dramatic irony is the most common literary technique used in the novel once. But here we can see on page 79, I know, Hendrik, he says, this is Barney talking. One day you'll be with your mummy and daddy. Until then, I'll look after you, I promise. And really clearly, what Barney is saying here is that his parents are dead. He's not going to see them again in this world, but one day in the next world, he'll be reunited with his family. Until that happens, he'll look after him. If we go down here, we see Felix's response. This man Barney is an idiot. You don't tell a kid he'll find his parents one day. One day doesn't mean anything. If you don't know when they're coming, you let the kid go and look for them now. This is a twofold irony. One, first of all, he plainly doesn't understand what Barney's saying, because one day does mean something. It means in the next life. He doesn't understand that. He's also fixated on finding his parents. This is about him and projecting onto the other kid. So dramatic irony is caused because us as an audience realise that the children, the parents of Henrik, are dead. We also know that the parents of Felix are dead. And we know that Barney's talking about being reunited with parents in the next life. Clearly, Felix isn't following this. The last literary device that we can see in chapter 9 of Once occurs right at the beginning of the chapter on page 74. The Nazi officer lets go of Zelda's hair. This is because the man in the scuff leather jacket has convinced him to. But he raises his gun and points it at the man's head. The man doesn't weep or grovel. He lifts up the leather bag he's carrying, which is also fairly scuffed, and holds it in front of the Nazi officer's face. Here we have a device called foreshadowing. This bag and what this bag represents will come back in future chapters. So we are confused at the moment. Why would a bag being held in front of a Nazi officer's head stop him from shooting the man for protecting Zelda? Particularly when straight after this, the man goes into the crowd and randomly shoots a woman. What is it about the leather bag that is so important that stops this man from being attacked and killed perhaps by the Nazi officer? We're foreshadowing something that's going to happen in the future. So make sure you underline that, because we'll have to come back to it because it's a foreshadowing of an event. The number of themes that emerge in chapter 9. Certainly kindness and courage in the face of horrific events. So Barney stood up to the Nazi officer. This is quite a scary guy, because immediately after he spoke to Barney, he went and shot a random woman in the head in front of men, women and children. We have the theme that children should be cared for, that kindness and care are necessary things for children. We have Felix facing reality. He's put aside his stories and he's facing reality and the horror that's happening around him. We also found the importance of stories to shield from reality, how the other kids are enjoying these stories and it's distracting them from reality and the horror in their lives with their parents being killed. And we have anti-Semitism, this form of racism that is Jew hatred, and which is the highest peak happened in the Holocaust, the times that this story describes.